بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله محمد بن عبد الله صلى الله عليه وسلم، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن سيدنا محمدا عبد الله ورسوله. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. So inshallah, we will be talking about fasting and your health. We need not to misestimate the power of fasting and also the power of the weather condition and the circumstances that is associated with fasting this year. 17 hours at least of fasting. It is not something to be taken lightly, but at the same time we have to focus on the benefits of fasting to our health. And remember that if someone is having a health problem, of course, fasting should be carefully handled by those people. And if a person believes that he has or she multiple health problems and they have great concern of how to handle fasting, the best person to check with is your primary doctor. Your primary doctor. Even non-Muslim physicians today are aware of fasting. They understand what fasting involves and whatsoever, and they will be able to give you the best advice. And if you want, you have the option to seek more than one medical opinion, so that you will be certain of how to handle the fast in Ramadan. Of course, here we have the issue of the food, and we have the issue of sumu tasahhu, fast, you will become healthy, and we have also the bad habits. When we say fast and you feel healthy, it means the month of Ramadan is coming to help you how to rid yourself of bad habits. Sometimes it is difficult to challenge yourself. But when you fast knowing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is looking at your deeds, at your fast, most cases people do handle themselves properly, knowing that Allah is watching over them. So let us start here addressing the issue of health in Islam. Health is important. Your body is important. Yes. Health in Islam is viewed as one of the greatest blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gave us. And the greatest blessing after belief is health. So here is now some of the saying of our Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and One of them is here, سَلُوا اللَّهَ الْعَفْوَ وَالْعَافِيَةِ. This one sometimes works. Yeah, now it's work. Okay. سَلُوا اللَّهَ الْعَفْوَ وَالْعَافِيَةِ. Ask Allah for His forgiveness and good health. فَإِنَّ أَحَدَكُمْ لَمْ يُعْطَ خَيْرًا مِنَ الْعَافِيَةِ. The best gift that Allah bestowed on us is health. And Al-Abbas ibn Abdul Muttalib radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, he asked Al-Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, علمني شيئا, teach me, Ya Rasulullah. Teach me something that I can pray to Allah for it. So Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says to him, Salillah al-afiyah. Ask the health. Ask Allah to keep you healthy. And Abu Bakr radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, he says, these are his words. لأن أعافى, to be healthy, فأشكر, and then I'll be thankful to Allah for that. أحب إلي, it's much better for me, من أن أبتلى. Ubtala means to have difficulties in my health. فأصبر. Even though that I'll be patient and I will accept myself the way I am, but for me to be healthy is much better than anything else. And of course here now, sumu tasahhu. This is the hadith of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that fasting would make you healthy. Even though when you read this hadith, you will find that the scholars of hadith went different way in dealing with this hadith. But if you check the Quran you will find it, the Quran confirmed this medical fact. But here is the problem. Every year people fast and then they ask, he said, I'm having stomach ache. Every time I eat, after the eating, my stomach hurting, burning. I keep taking soda cup after one cup so that I feel little bit, but it's not working. Yes, of course. And some will come and tell me, well, I fast to lose weight, and I end up at the end of the month, I'm gaining weight. So what is going on here? So thus you can see here the issue of healthy has something to be investigated. Why the fast is not helping some people? Then we need to look at that. And let's look. And this, do you have, this is a video. Do you have the laptop? Yeah, this is a video, so we need to run it. If you have your mouth, look at the video. And do you see where there is a black line? If you run the mouth on it, okay. No, go down. No, go down where there is the black light. Yeah. Click here and see if you get the sound. Okay, let me see.
No, I think it won't.
Well, that's the problem. Okay.
Your digestive fast, so more blood will be sent to other tissues in your body. In addition, your body will use the fasting period to remove deposits of cholesterol that line the blood vessels. When you breathe, your body can absorb thousands of toxins which are used in the environment around us. Fasting helps us remove the toxins that have built up in your lungs. Your stomach uses the time during fasting to clean itself and remove any waste matter to allow for more efficient digestion. Your intestines also use the time during fasting to clean themselves and remove any waste matter to allow for more efficient digestion. Your liver provides the body with glycogen, the secondary energy source, and breaks down fat to provide glycerol, another energy source. When you are fasting, your kidneys increase the amount of diuresis, the process of excretion of salt and water, which leads to lower blood pressure. The month of fasting can be extremely beneficial for us, mentally, spiritually, and physically. As long as you do the right foods, don't push yourself too hard physically, you may find yourself in a healthier state at the end of the month.
Okay, now let's continue with that. This is Walter Longo. He's a medical research. He's a well-known. And he is not a Muslim. So see how he is describing fasting. So he said, when you starve, the system tries to save energy. And one of the things it can do to save energy is to recycle a lot of the immune cells that are not needed, especially those that may be damaged. So the cells try to fix the body. And when hunger starts, so the body needs nutrition. There is a reserve inside the body, so the body look for the reserve. And that's one of the benefits of fasting. Of course, as I said, that fasting is not advisable for everyone. But those whose medical conditions, there are more video, Brother Melhar. So keep things ready. Yeah. Those whose medical conditions do not respond to other treatments, fasting can help them break to a next level of immune competency. But it will only work if you frame the fast with good nutrition before fast and after breaking the fast. So fast is good, but we have to learn how to deal with it. Means what to eat, what not to eat. And here is the question: can fasting really help with medical conditions such as heart disease, high blood pressure, asthma, arthritis, and other autoimmune disorder? The answer to that is yes, but yes is a big word. There is always but. It means that in principle, fasting is helpful to these things, but you need to check out yourself. You see how sometimes your doctor may prescribe a medicine, and the doctor usually would tell you, try it. If you feel something wrong, you need to check with me always. And when you read the facts about the medicine, you find the side effects. What kind of side effects? What kind of effects will affect you? So that's very important. Now here is facts of fasting. Fasting helps reduce cholesterol in the blood, which helps reduce the risk of heart attack and heart disease or a stroke. But I want you to pay attention. Helps reduce. You know the difference. You have to pay attention to words I'm using. Help reduce means I don't want you to take it for granted that if you follow that, then you are safe. No. We still, as I said, you need to watch your fast and see how your body is reacting to the fast. But in principle, yes, fasting would help a great deal to improve your health. And here is another person will ask the question, I do not lose weight. So the answer to that, if fasting is followed through a healthy, balanced diet, this will help gradual weight loss depending on the food which is consumed. Now, fasting helps produce brain cells, which helps improve brain function and helps reduce stress levels to a great extent. Fasting has been used for religious and spiritual purification for centuries. And if you look at the Quran, you find that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Baqarah, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, kutiba alaykum siyam, fasting, O believers, fasting was made as a farida, obligation, kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum. That fasting, it is prescribed to you, is a farida, but also it was a farida for others. Right? So many religions today do take into consideration the issue of fasting, maybe in a different way, but fasting is universally known as something that can bring benefit to people. And this is a non-Muslim also. He says, fasting may yield psychological benefits. I use very brief fasting with my patients to help them cope with stress and depression. And he explained that he starts encouraging his patients by asking them to fast for a few hours, and watch his words, just to help them say no to food, which is important to help them take control of their lives. That's the same thing. This person is not a Muslim, but as if he is interpreting the ayah that I read. Because the ayah of fasting said, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. And the taqwa here takes many forms. One of it is to learn how to behave. That's the taqwa here. It means to learn how to take control of your life. And so you find the medical researchers today are confirming what Islam says long time ago. The difference that you find it without research, and for them today they needed to go through research after research, trying this, trying that, and they came up with the same conclusion where the Quran prescribed to Muslims 15 centuries ago. And this is now a video.
The fasts of Ramadan can improve a person's health, but if the correct diet is not followed, it can possibly worsen it. The deciding factor is not the fast itself, but rather what is consumed in the non-fasting hours. To fully benefit from fasting, a person should spare a great deal of thought to the type and quantity digestive system for a meal.
Okay. You did see that he suggested the soup as a way to start the fast. But we have also the sunnah in addition. Before I start eating, that Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, it was his sunnah to have a piece of date and water. Very simple. Piece of date and water is the best thing that you can start your fast. And I think it is part of the culture of many Muslim communities where the time of azan going on, they take a piece of date and some water. And the benefit of that, medical research, they said that dates are rich in glucose and fructose, which have a great caloric benefit, especially for the brain, and are useful in raising the level of sugar gradually in blood, thus reducing the feeling of hunger and the need for large quantities of food, because that's the struggle between us, amongst ourselves, is the struggle that you spend 17 or 18 hours of fast during the day and you want to reward yourself. And actually, it's not rewarding yourself, is you are filling your eyes, because your eyes want to eat and your eyes will look and say that's not enough. So some people, they start with piece of date, but others 2, 3, and then they say, oh, you have to go by the sunnah, it has to be either 1 or 3 or 5. So no, piece of date is enough for you. It will open your appetite, yes. It will gradually give the sugar to the body, but it will also help you decide the amount of food you eat when you break the fast. I want to connect the health to the heart. What is the relation between fasting and your heart? You know, you look, this is the hadith of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that in fil jasad mudgha, there is a flesh in your body. He said everyone has a flesh in his or her body, and then إذا صلحت صلح الجسد كله. If it was sound, then the whole body is healthy, and if it is corrupted, bad, was not sound, then the whole body is corrupted. And he said it is the heart. So what is the connection between fasting and the heart? Now I'll tell you this. Isn't it true that when you feel hungry, that you can feel the softness in your heart? Many people will say yes. Isn't it true that when you feel weak, you see yourself that really you don't want to fight with anyone, that you want to be at peace with people? Yes, that's the connection. It is the heart that can help you make the decision. So the health and the heart, or the body and the heart, they work together. And thus, there is a hadith that narrated by Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, that Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, Inna Allah la yanzuru ila ajsamikum. Allah will not look at your figure, how you look this way or that way, would not. لكن ينظر إلى قلوبكم. He will look at your hearts. So here is now, I want to establish something between the way I look and the way my heart. So you find that fasting is going to help me have a good heart. In a metaphysical sense, so we know that we use our hearts in many ways. We love, we hate, we shed tears, we feel happy, we feel sad, we feel lucky. So these are based on the beliefs and understanding of various matters that we hold in our hearts. So our behavior is largely driven by the world that we build where in our hearts. See, our hearts have, each person has his or her own world in the heart. So thus, isn't it true that we say so and so has a kind heart? Is there a heart that's kind and not kind? I mean, if you look at the heart, you're not going to see different hearts. We all have one heart. But bad and kind is something has to do with our behavior that usually initiated by the heart. So here our behavior is largely driven by the world that we build in our hearts. And in more than 100 places, the Quran mentioned the word heart and hearts in various surahs and chapters and in various contexts. And this heart beats approximately 70 times per minute. Your heart beats 70 times approximately per minute. Your heart beats 100,000 times in 24 hours. 100 times every day, and 3 million beats per month. Never stop. It's amazing. And a physician explained to me, he said, when we do heart surgery, there is little piece connected to the heart. And this piece never stops. Once you put it, it has to work. So they remove it, put it aside. And then they use mechanical way to keep the heart working during the surgery. So imagine a little piece of flesh that keeps the heart running day and night without stop until the end of our life. Of course, I'm going now to give an example how this heart and the health, how they work together. So there is a story that was narrated that Satan or Iblis, la'anahullah, he intercepted Prophet Yahya alayhi salam. Prophet Yahya is the son of Prophet Zakaria alayhi salam, and says to him, so Yahya says to him, he says, هل نلت مني شيئا قط? He said, you will never be able to get me. You never. And the shaitan says, he said, yeah, no, but I managed at least once. And he says, how? He said, do you remember that yesterday you was invited at a banquet and I made you love to eat a certain type of food and you overate, and after you finished you went home tired and you did not pray your tahajjud. So even like indirectly you find that overeating can help your heart to make a decision not to do certain thing that you like to do. So Yahya alayhi salam said to him, لله علي أن لا أشبع من طعام أبدا. So I commit, I promise, and I pledge to Allah that I will never overeat in my life. And the shaitan said, and I also commit myself not to advise anyone. So what we see here, that we clearly understand that fasting is going to give us a great opportunity to connect ourselves with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Thus you find that Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says that during the month of Ramadan, the shayateen are chained and the doors of the Jannah are open. فتحت أبواب الجنة وصفدت الشياطين. And then people will say, what do you mean? You mean that the shaitan has less influence on us? Yes, has less influence on us. And if you want examples, we can come up with many examples. I know that before Ramadan, I officiate more marriages than normal time. And some of these marriages are people living with a woman without marriage. And then they say, oh, Ramadan is coming. Things start working with him. How can I fast? How can I fast in that situation? So then they say, okay, let's get married. So they get married. So Ramadan helped them connect with Allah. You find that the shaitan has less influence. Now, check, even though we always say smoking is bad and no good and that, but I check with many people who are smokers, and they say during normal days, usually 3-4 hours, I cannot stay without a cigarette. I have to go and I have to smoke a cigarette. But in Ramadan, says, I have no problem. They start fasting, but of course, fasting, cigarette is part of their suhoor. But they manage to continue until the end. And then they break fast with the cigarette in their hand. Ramadan here is giving them the opportunity and telling them, look, if you can stay 17 hours without a cigarette, you can continue, you can go ahead. You can rid yourself of the habit. So the shaitan has less influence on us during the month of fasting. Here is now another proverb. This is not a hadith that says, Al-Ma'idah Bayt Ad-Da Wal-Himya Ra's Ad-Dawa. Al-Ma'idah is the stomach. Bayt is the home, the place of sickness. So if you want to look for the source of any sickness, it is the stomach. And I know people, they have heart problem. When they eat certain food, they have to check their heart. So the stomach is the place where to look when there is a health problem. And al-himya is diet. Ras ad-dawa. The best medicine is diet. And this is what is called الطب النبوي. الطب النبوي, the medicine of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, where he advised for preventive medicine. So when he says كلوا الزيت والدهن به, he said eat the olive oil and use it as an ointment. The man who says my brother has stomach ache, he said give him honey. In another place, داووا مرضاكم بالصدقات, he said heal, cure your sick people with giving sadaqah. So you find there are different ways of how to handle our health, and how also make the fast serve us, not bring harm to us. Here is another hadith that Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, ما ملأ آدمي وعاء شر من بطنه أي معدته. The son of Adam never fills a bowl. So the stomach here was called a bowl, a plate, worse than his or her stomach. And بحسب ابن آدم أكلات يقمن صلبه. It's enough to eat little so that you strengthen yourself. You need to give your body strength. And the way to do that is to eat. But Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, little bit is enough for you. You don't have to go more than that. فَإِنْ كَانَ لَا مَحَالَةً. And then because we have to eat, then he said, 1/3 for the food. 1/3 of your stomach. 1/3 for the water, and 1/3 to breathe. That's for your spiritual connection. Because when you overeat, what will happen? You feel lazy. If there is a prayer, you would not. You say, okay, you delay the prayer. And you may end up sleeping, and then you lose the prayer. If you pray, if you say, okay, I'll pray Isha, and you find that you want just to pray for rak'ah and say, enough is enough, I want to go to sleep, I'm tired. You come from work, you are tired, you want to eat, you overeat. Then you sit on the couch, I want to go to the masjid, oh, I feel, I don't know what happened, I feel lazy going to the masjid. So Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam wanted to have a connection with the heart, the body and the heart. So this was his advice. Now non-insulin diabetes, non-insulin. So diabetes has two kinds. If you want to deal with health, and for those who have this particular health problem, if they have the non-insulin diabetes, so during fasting, how fasting would help them? So the consumption of sugars decreases, and so does the level of sugar in the blood. And this makes the body rely on providing the needed calories for metabolism by burning sugar already stored in the body. So the body wants sugar, and you're not eating. There is fast here. You are fasting, you're not eating. And the body needs the sugar, so the body is selfish, is known as selfish. You have to pressure the body to go to the stored sugar and use it so that the person can survive. So here glycogen stored in the liver and fats in tissues are decomposed and transferred into calories and energy needed by the body, and this results in moderate storage of body weight. So here is the body weight. They say that the person lose weight fighting diabetes can reduce the risk of the danger of diabetes. And here is the urine system. This is the rest of the renal system, urinary system. Studies revealed that abstaining from drinking water for about 10 to 12 hours is useful. And concentration of liquids in the body causes moderate dehydration that the body can tolerate, as there is a sufficient liquid reserve. We have reserve in the body we can use. And both kidneys get rest of the process of waste depositing. And here is now the sunnah. Of course, our Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam advised us to do what? To do the suhoor. تَسَحَّرُوا فَإِنَّ فِي السُّحُورِ بَرَكَةً. You do suhoor. There is blessings in the suhoor. So you can prepare yourself to long hours of long day of fasting. And the suhoor need to be delayed. It means as much as you can, you make suhoor connected to the fajr. And the iftar be quick, expedited. Once there is iftar time, you have to eat. Why? Of course, this is to reduce the time period of dehydration. Because dehydration during hot weather of fasting is very serious, and you need to pay attention to that. Now, shortage of liquids leads in turn to moderate decrease of blood pressure that the normal person can tolerate and be of use to those complaining of hypertension. Let me stop here. It is a little bit all right. Let me go here with the issue of behavior. How the fast now affect our body, the moral system of our body. And we know that Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam advised us to refrain from any obscene language and any act of ignorance. And if someone try to mess up with you, you do not respond. And then you say, Allahumma inni sa'im, I am fasting. And that's the beauty of the fast, where the community can get together. I know in Muslim countries, usually the family get together, which is, rarely that you find family getting together and eating together at the same time. Here in the United States, usually the community that make the family. So we have this culture in many places in the US. Here is what we need to do. I can go quick and then finish. Avoid drinking tea at suhoor. Tea increases salt exertion in the urine. Minimize daily exercise. Limit your exposure to the sun. And then have a shower twice a day to cool and refresh yourself. And you have also wash your mouth. You can wash your mouth. Do not exaggerate, but at least wet your mouth, because it will help also. Avoid sitting under the sun. And here fasting becomes extremely difficult if you faint and you pass out or have a blackout. If that thing happened, then you should start eating and drinking at once. You don't have to say, oh, let me consult my doctor. If you feel the danger, then break your fast immediately. And how about the children? Children are not allowed to fast, but we train our children. all of us. I started with my even me. I started fasting 10 years. My children started to fast 10 years old, but we never pressured them to end the day. We helped them learn, but never pressured the children to continue with the fast until the end of the day, because this can be dangerous thing for them. Now, all people who find it difficult, they need to be careful how to handle the fast. And thus we can go. And here is now the end, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the hadith Qudsi, كُلُّ عَمَلِ ابْنِ آدَمَ لَهُ. Every act of the son of Adam is for him or her. إِلَّا الصَّوْمِ فَإِنَّهُ لِي وَأَنَا أَجْزِي بِهِ. Except fasting. Fasting, it is done for the sake and the love of Allah. And then Allah will decide how to reward that person. Okay. If there is any question that you would like to ask, I'll be glad to respond. Otherwise, I'm done. Yes.
I have one question, and this is probably even a different topic, but it's on fasting, because I'm a born Muslim, so I got trained. My parents taught me how to fast. I started fasting, just like in your case. But there are, people who have converted to Islam. For them, it's new. It's hard. How do they?
Well,
what's the
the one thing I say to those people, never force yourself. Period of training is very important. Don't tell them do not fast, and don't tell them fast. Because if you tell them, oh, you don't need to fast full time, and then one of them is gonna tell you, well, I fasted full time, nothing happened to me. So we don't want to fall into that trap. What we say, that they need to go through a training period, and not to force themselves, and not to do like jump 5 stairs at one time. They are their own doctors. They have to make the decision. And the case of people who are declaring their Islam, each one is separate. So we deal with it separately. We welcome their question, like I'm in Ohio, in my masjid, I'm making next Thursday, I made it open for all people who would like to come and learn more about how to fast. So I'm giving an opportunity for the Muslims also, but for the non-Muslims to come and speak and tell me if they have concern or how they will fast and enjoy the fasting. Definitely, fasting is painful to all of us. So we don't want to be naive and say, oh, it's gonna be difficult for me. Well, it's gonna be difficult for me also. It's difficult for all of us. But it depends how the difficulty is. Whether they are looking for an imam to tell them, go ahead and don't fast. Okay, so each case is differently, and we have to interview the person, see what is their concern, and try to help them as much as we can. Any other question? Yes.
I have a question. In regard to the medical conditions, like people taking medication like hypertensive medication, or it's like diuretics, or people who experience like mental sickness, so they take some medication which they cause them to lose a lot of fluids. So how this can be?
Okay, let me tell you here. A person says to me, I can fast and I have no problem. Except I need to take a pill every 6 hours. So what should I tell them? Break the fast? No. Take the pill, and let's say I need 8 ounces of water with the pill. Take the pill, take the water, and go ahead with your fast. So there is no set rules. Each case is different. Usually we ask the people, say, you are taking a medication, right? Who gave you the medication? There must be the doctor. Talk to your doctor first, and then come and see. Ask me, how can we handle this situation? Can your doctor say, switch taking the medicine? Like doctor will tell you, take this 3 pills a day, 3 times. Take a pill 3 times. And then, of course, you have to wake up in the morning, take breakfast, then noontime. And you say, okay, can you switch? Break your fast, take 1. Before you go to sleep, take the 2nd. And then wake up for suhoor, take your suhoor, and take the 3rd pill. Can that thing? Who decide that? The doctors. So their medical doctor need to help them with that. And we have to remember the rules. Marid, sick, ala safar, traveling. What? عدة من أيام أخرى. Then you can do it later. So I do have it. I do have the solution. What I need, how to apply this rule to that person and make the match. See here, our problem is the match today. Whether that thing match or not. Who decide that? Me? No, I can help the people. But who need to make the decision is the person. And one of the things, Luqman alayhi salam, he advised his son. So you find it in the Quran said, وَلَا تَقْفُ مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٍ. Mind your business. You find someone eating, taking a corner, chewing something, drinking water. It's none of your business really to go and say, oh, I saw this person. Oh, he says he's a Muslim. Look at that. Hypocrisy. So you judge the people without sound proof. So we have mind our business and then let the people make the decision for their life. And whatever they make decision for their life, it is between them and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the issue of sickness is serious and the person need not to take it lightly and need not to do heroic deeds. No heroic deeds here when it comes to health. And I tell you, this is my mother. Say, may Allah have rahmah on her. She died, she was 84 years. And she was fasting. She died the middle of the month. And in the beginning of the month, I told her, Mom, do not fast. She said, no, nothing is happening to me. I say, yes, nothing is happening to you. But when it happened, there is no warning. And then, she says, what kind of life is this? No, I'm fasting, I'll continue fasting. Middle of the month, she developed sudden heart attack and she died. We say, we're not going to say that because she fasted. No, but what I say that we need to take the issue of fasting seriously, especially when it comes to our health. Any other question?
There's people who don't fast or fast, half, do they have to make up for those fasts? Or maybe on people who are new to Islam who will not fast?
Those who cannot fast, you mean?
No, people who, like for example, a new Muslim takes a while to get trained up and start fasting as an adult. Does he have to make up the fast?
Oh, okay. Well, there is permanent
That'd be a lot.
excuse, and there is temporarily. So temporarily excuse that the people need to make up the missing days during the year, the rest of the year, and before Ramadan, next Ramadan comes. So let's say I missed 2 days, and then during the year, I kept saying, today, tomorrow, until next Ramadan comes. What is the situation? I have to pay fidya for the 2 days and still fast the 2 days. And for those who are permanently, they cannot make up the days or anything. Those people, they pay the fidya. The fidya means that they need to calculate how much it costs to feed a person during the day, in a day. And then pay for every missing day. If they can, they do that. And they finished. A woman in Ramadan, she was pregnant. Then she said, okay, I will not fast. And then after Ramadan, she delivered the baby, feeding the baby, she cannot fast. So this woman will say, look, do not bother and wait until the end of Ramadan. From now, pay the fidya and finish. Why? Because, it's giving birth and then nursing the baby, that's more than 1 year, even 2 years. So those we say, this is a permanent solution, permanent situation. So they do that until they are in a better condition. And that's how we deal with it. And sometimes, there are people who really have bad condition, bad health condition, and they break the fast, and then they wait in the winter. The winter is the fasting hours shorter, 12 hours. They can fast 12 hours. They can manage their diabetes. They can manage their heart problem. They manage everything. Because 12 hours is really what we say piece of cake. It's easy. Yeah, those people we say, istafti qalbak, as Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said to Abdullah ibn Abbas. He said, istafti qalbak, make up your mind. You make your own decision, and as long as you're making the decision to satisfy your relationship with the Creator, it's fine. All right, so we say, وصلى اللهم وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر.